A Russian soldier trying to escape from a drone. Soldiers caught in an ambush. Russian tank destroyed by drones loaded with explosives. The Russian soldier who chose to surrender instead of dying. Trench attacks. Destroyed vehicles. Airstrikes. Soldiers fleeing from war. Stay tuned for more. June 21st, 2025. 4 Russian soldiers trigger a mine while moving through the Ukrainian positions. 2 Russian soldiers on a motorcycle are knocked down by the explosion. The others start to flee. However, they were targeted by drones of the Ukrainian 3rd Strike Brigade. They abandoned the motorcycle after the first drone attack, but did not survive the second attack. Other Russian soldiers were still waiting where they had fallen. The Ukrainian drone dropped a high explosive bomb on the Russian soldiers. June 20th, 2025. Ukrainian FPV pilots of the Wings to Hell unit of the 103rd Separate TDF Brigade made a Russian ATV crash into the Dragon's Teeth in the direction of Kursk. The panicked Russian soldier did not know what to do. He eventually became the drone's target. The Russian vehicle was destroyed. You can support us by liking and commenting on the video. Ukrainian forces detected a Russian T-80 tank near the village of Preobrazhenka, Donetsk region. At first, the Russian tank, which stepped on a mine, lost its mobility and started to be heavily damaged by back-to-back FPV kamikaze attacks. As a result, the tank is destroyed with a decisive hit. June 20th, 2025. Ukrainian 225th Separate Assault Battalion FPV drone operators detected Russian assault groups near Sumy region. Drones were immediately launched against Russian soldiers. Other soldiers who try to go into the forest and hide in the trees also failed to survive the attacks. In just a few minutes, the 20-strong Russian attack group is almost no one left. All the soldiers are shot down one by drones. A Ukrainian drone drops explosives, including an artillery shell with a remote detonation module on a Russian position. As a Russian soldier passes by the position, the bombs detonate, leaving no trace of the soldier. Russian soldier who chose to surrender. A Russian trench built underground has been discovered. Ukrainian forces immediately attacked the Russian trench with FPV drones. After the first attack, a Russian soldier came out from inside. The Russian soldier came out with his hands in the air, showing his willingness to surrender. After being watched by drones for some time, the Russian soldier started to beg for his life. The Russian soldier was alone and afraid. He had no choice but to beg for his life. At first, the Ukrainian drones were going to continue the attack, but the fact that the soldier was unarmed and alone made them hesitate. Eventually, Ukrainian forces agreed to take the Russian soldier prisoner. Russian soldier, Ukrainian started following the drone. The drone would take him straight to the Ukrainian positions. He saw a fallen drone on the road and showed that he could bring it back. He took the downed drone and went to surrender. June 21st, 2025. 65th Mechanized Brigade. FPV drone pilots destroy Russian armored vehicles and Russian infantry trying to hide near the village of Robotyne, Zaporizhia region. Russian soldiers spotted the FPV drone and immediately hid the vehicle in a wooded area and tried to escape, but it was too late to hide. Ukrainian kamikaze attack on a Russian soldier on a motorcycle, but the drone does not explode in the first attack. Russian soldier engages in a relentless fight against a drone. He tries to get rid of the drone by taking cover in a vehicle. The FPV drone pilot manages to target the Russian soldier after several attempts. Many Russian infantrymen hide under previously destroyed Russian military vehicles to survive, but are shot by FPV kamikaze drones. With the drone attack, the Russian soldiers start fleeing again, but there is nowhere to hide in this vast expanse of land. Ukrainian forces destroyed a Russian Grad-1 rocket system using HIMARS. Russian soldiers tried to leave the area in shock and fear after the huge explosion. June 19, 2025. Ukrainian special forces neutralized 50 Russian soldiers in drone operations in the field for a week. Russian soldiers are often alone along the entire front line. Most of them seem to have no ammunition. Following a disorganized battle tactic, the Russian forces are losing a lot of infantry. Ukrainian drones continuously fly over the front line for hours, carrying out kamikaze attacks. You can share your opinions about this disorganized war tactic of Russian forces in the comments. June 18th, the Ukrainian 63rd Mechanized Brigade conducted a large-scale operation against Russian trenches. Several Russian trenches destroyed by drones loaded with explosives. Ukrainian forces also attacked with flammable materials placed in the drones, rendering the trenches unusable and giving Russian soldiers inside no chance to escape. Russian military Ukrainian FPV kamikaze attacked. At first, the drone did not explode. The Russian soldier, who survived the first attack because the drone did not explode, was in shock. He pulled himself together and started running again. As the Russian soldier ran away, it was realized that he was carrying a TM-62 anti-tank mine and he started to run away. However, the FPV kamikaze took off a second time and the Russian soldier's struggle ended there. June 18th, 2025. Russian offensive repulsed near the village of Serebryanka, Donetsk region. A tank and an infantry fighting vehicle entered the village. The Russian armored infantry carrier managed to land a 7-man unit after being hit by an FPV drone. After landing, it was immobilized by another FPV attack. The house where Russian soldiers fled was hit by Ukrainian artillery. A Russian tank was shot down and destroyed by Ukrainian drones. 20 June 2025. Operators of the 14th Separate Regiment of the Ukrainian Forces, using 2 FPV drones with a cumulative warhead, hit the Viking radar, part of the Russian Buk M3 air defense system. The expensive Russian military vehicle was destroyed within a few minutes. June 20th, 2025. 68th Jaeger Brigade of Ukraine struck Russian Banzai vehicles and neutralized several Russian military groups. One by one, Russian soldiers on a logistics route are targeted by drones. The soldiers, who have no chance against the drones, have nowhere to hide. June 17th, 2025. Ukrainian forces expose Russian soldiers hiding in the field. During drone strikes, many Russian soldiers emerge from previously destroyed vehicles. The attacked Russian soldier hides in the jungle but is constantly tracked and monitored by drones. The hiding Russian soldier this time becomes the target of a kamikaze drone among the trees. Ukrainian Su-27, MiG-29, and F-16 fighter jets strike with precision-guided bombs to hit Russian river crossings and military targets on the front line. In this operation, conducted by the UTAC team on June 21st, 2025, transit zones, bridges, and ammunition depots along the logistics line were hit. Many Russian soldiers also lost their lives. It was a great loss for the Russian forces. Drone attack on detected Russian BMP armored vehicle. With precise drone control, a pinpoint hit was made through the armored vehicle's hatch. There were Russian soldiers inside. With the effect of the explosion, Russian soldiers in the vehicle also lost their lives in the attack. A group of Russian soldiers was spotted emerging from a destroyed ruin. Ukraine immediately launched a kamikaze drone for attack. The drone intercepted the Russian soldiers and seriously injured them. In fact, the movement of the soldiers suggests that they were already moving forward with a distance to avoid a drone. In this abandoned house, a Russian soldier was seen. Soon, the building was hit by a drone loaded with explosives. Russian soldiers use many abandoned buildings as shelters. Another Russian soldier is spotted in the garden of a house. This Russian soldier shares the same fate. Ukrainian forces are increasingly relying on FPV kamikaze drones to target Russian troops entrenched along the front line. These fast and agile drones are remotely piloted and equipped with explosive payloads, allowing them to strike with pinpoint precision. This new wave of unmanned warfare is forcing Russia to rethink defensive strategies. Static positions and massed infantry formations are increasingly vulnerable, and without effective countermeasures, the psychological toll on frontline troops continues to grow.